everyone, welcome to my channel Contro-I. My name is Sadot. I just stumbled on a video. It's about the history of Nigeria. It's a wonderful video. I have my own feel on this video. I just want all of us to watch this video together. At the end of the video, I'll give my own viewpoint. God bless you.
Nigeria is part of West Africa. It covers an area of over 339,000 square miles, nearly as big as France and Italy put together. Its population comprised half the people of all the United Kingdom dependencies. It is a land of many tribes and many languages, a land of differing views and differing people. The country ranges from desert on the edge of the Sahara, through the cattle grazing pastures, to the mineral hills of the Central Plateau, down to the coast and the swamps of the river Delta. Throughout these formative years, men of the colonial service were at work, patiently guiding the Nigerians towards eventual independence, introducing the elements of local government in villages, encouraging local industry, developing overseas trade, building a stable administration.
Newest visitors to London are delegates from Nigeria. Members of the Legislative Council, they want home rule for Nigeria's 20 million native population.
We have come to the United Kingdom as delegates of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, chosen by our people in order to demand for a more democratic constitution, to modify 4 laws affecting our lands, minerals and chiefs, and to request the British government to grant us more political responsibility to enable us to take an active part in the management of our affairs within the framework of the British Empire.
With every development, Nigeria drew nearer to her goal, independence within the Commonwealth of Nations. At the Constitutional Conference of 1957, it was decided that the 3 regions should have internal self-government. At a further meeting the following year, it was agreed that a date in 1960 should be the target for independence. Accordingly, the eastern and western regions became autonomous. The North, exercising the right of self-determination, decided to wait until March 1959 before making the change to regional self-government. In August 1957, Nigeria's first federal prime minister was appointed, Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, now Sir Abubakar, a northern statesman of great foresight. In December 1959, members were elected to an enlarged House of Representatives. Sir Abu Bakr was confirmed in office, and one of the first acts of the new government was formally to petition the United Kingdom for independence in October 1960, in accordance with the promise made in London 2 years earlier. The change from dependent status had been deliberate but orderly. Nigeria was now ready to stand with the other Commonwealth countries and determined to play her full part as a member nation. Now, the last elements of British administration have been withdrawn and a great new nation emerges. A nation of 35 million people who have put their faith in the democratic life and whose voice will command respect throughout Africa, the Commonwealth, and the world.
The coup now begins to look more and more like a straightforward military revolt against corruption in government, and one that's likely to last. It has popular backing. What's not so clear is who its real backers are. The man at present being put forward is the army commander, General Agui Ironsi, who arrived at the heavily guarded Parliament buildings to hold the new administration's first press conference.
The federal military government in Nigeria has taken over the administration of the country. Functions of the federal military government will be exercised by the Supreme Military Council, and details of which will be announced later. Permanent secretaries in charge of federal ministries will continue in their office, carrying out the normal functions of government, and they shall be directly responsible to the federal military government when constituted.
Will there be press censorship during this regime?
I do not think that I should start off with press censorship. But I may impose censorship if it became necessary.
John Dickey of the Daily Mail of London, will there be any change in the external policy of your government?
No.
Citizen News of London. May I ask the General whether he regards his administration as a permanent or a caretaker administration?
My main concern is to restore law and order as soon as possible.
As early as Sunday, the day after the coup, people pursued their ordinary diversions as if they still lived under one of the most stable governments in Africa. No one seemed distressed or puzzled. Perhaps they were right not to be. Perhaps it's all very simple. In Lagos, from all one gathers, the coup is cheerfully accepted, and the Sardona and Akintola are unlamented. Even Balewa's departure from office is likely to be more wept in London than in Lagos.
Major Nziogbu, can you please give me an account of the night of the coup in Kaduna?
Well, it's rather something like the longest day. We started this off on the night of the 13th of January, when a night exercise was planned by the military college, which I command. We took out troops to the ground and taught them how to do night attacks. We didn't tell them what we were planning for, but at the end of the exercise we took them out and showed them various places where they were to stand and just remain in their vehicle. Next day we went out again for the same type of exercise, and at the end we issued them with ammunition this time, live ammunition, and told them that they were going back to the same place as they went yesterday, but this time they were to get certain people.
And they were with you, were they?
Oh, of course they did. Oh, they all supported us.
Did the Sardona himself attempt to fight?
Well, no. We didn't see him until the time we actually shot him. He ran away from his house when we fired the first few shots of anti-tank gun into the building. The whole roof was blown up and the place was set alight. Then we went to the rear of the house and started searching from room to room until we found him amongst the women and children, hiding himself. So we sort of took away the women and children and took him.
Now, what are your relations with General Iramsi in Lagos?
Well, very good. He's my boss. I have always been under him, and I still am under him. There isn't really any problem with you. Misunderstandings arose, but this was due to the publication in the press and by announcements over the radio. At one time they started calling us in Kaduna rebels, whereas in fact the revolution was all a planned affair all over the country, and many other people were cooperating.
In our case, that thousands have been massacred is not in dispute. One then might be permitted to ask, at what stage does this massacre become genocide?
Civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent. You're quite right. It will for us be the price for freedom. Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, the But the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long.
2 months ago, it appeared Nigeria was close to winning its war with Biafra, but now the fighting seems to be at a stalemate, apparently because French weapons now are reaching the Biafrans. Half of Biafran's 7 million people are said to be nearing starvation, and only a few food shipments are being flown in. We have obtained some extraordinary film of the war in Biafra made by French cameramen, fought by a group of Biafran commandos and their white mercenary leaders. There were 7 mercenaries in charge of 4,000 Biafran commandos. One, called Michel X, was going into his first battle. Others, called Big Bill and Marco the Brave, were veterans. A Belgian, Mark Goossens, had fought in the Congo and Yemen. He said the mercenaries were paid regularly, but were critically short of weapons.
Every month we pay here in Biafra, we will be paying.
Have you good soldiers?
Yeah, we have very good soldiers, very brave soldiers. But we don't get weapons enough and ammunition enough.
But you have some planes in the night. It's not enough?
It's not enough. It's not enough to fight against Nigerians, because Nigerians have more ammunition and more weapons. They get tanks. We don't
get no bazooka.
We have no bazooka. We don't get any anti-tank weapon. Yeah, That's why we.
Are you in the Congo before?
Yes, before I was in the Congo.
And you too, Bilwa?
Yes, he was. We were together. Yeah.
Oh. And the next time, where are you?
I really don't know.
In command was the oldest of the mercenaries in Biafra, a South African known only as Major Williams.
So make up your minds to start work. Not go around like bloody women, yak, yak, yak. Get them moving. Oh, yeah. Move! Wait.
Major,
That way.
oh, please, may I ask a question? You are a British?
Oh, no, South African.
South African? Why you are on this side and not on the other? It's a British.
Oh, I'm a South African, not British. Why should we help the British? This is the side I prefer for my conscience. I'd never fight with the communists. I was fought against them, Central Africa. And I just disagree with communism, plus I like these people. They outgun us, outnumber us, but we've got the fighting spirit, as you saw this morning. The blokes are willing to go in and have a go. And without morale, we'll beat them.
And you stay in Biafra?
Oh, yes, definitely.
More? Definitely?
Definitely, until the end of the war. Then they go to the next one.
Thank you.
Trouble among the emerging nations as buses line up to carry civilian volunteers to Nigerian army recruiting centers. Some 10,000 citizens answered their government's call to arms. Nigeria's rebel eastern state, the Republic of Biafra, declared its independence, setting off an unofficial war. Even women leave their homes and jobs to volunteer for military service. Nigeria is attempting to regain the breakaway state and declared that if necessary, Biafra will be crushed by force.
It's past 4 p.m. today, Nigerian time. Africa's worst war came to an end, that between Nigeria and breakaway Biafra. Major General Philip F. Young, left in charge of Biafra when General Ojukwu fled Sunday, announced the end on Radio Biafra, a mobile radio station. He appealed to the federal Nigerian leader, General Gowan, for a ceasefire to negotiate a settlement within the framework of a united Nigeria. The war has lasted 2.5 years. Around 2 million people have died. The peril that remains now is starvation of 4 million Biafrans or slaughter by federal troops.
We have fought a long, bitter battle, and it has ended in a victory for common sense, a victory for the unity of this country. And we have got cause to thank all the people of this country for what they have done to help to keep this country one. But I think above all, the gallant officers and men who had given their lives that this nation might live. And we have with us today Colonel Obasanjo, and unfortunately the other field commanders are not able to be with us at this moment. But we have Colonel Obasanjo, who is the commander of 3 Marine Commando, who have been able to capture a number of senior secessionist officers, and he had brought them to Lagos to see us in order to let us have their acceptance of the spirit of one Nigeria.
Formally give up secession and report for reappointment and redeployment. Philip Effiong.
Hello.
Your Excellency.
Glad to see you again.
My pleasure.
How are you?
Very well indeed.
Glad to see you again. Thank you.
Patrick Amadi.
How are you?
Excellency.
Glad to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Glad to see you again.
It's an experience.
Honestly. Glad to see you again.
And I would like, therefore, to take this opportunity to say that I, Major General Philip Effiong, officer administering the government of the Republic of Biafra, now wish to make the following declaration. That we affirm we are loyal Nigerian citizens and accept the authority of the federal military government of Nigeria. That we accept the existing administrative and political structure of the Federation of Nigeria. That any future constitutional arrangement will be worked out by representatives of the people of Nigeria. That the Republic of Biafra hereby ceases to exist.
The Biafrans fought with everything they had. They were outmanned, outgunned, everything. But they stood, head up, shoulders back, chest out, and the stiff upper lip. Classically British. We could not understand that the British government could ever fail to see the justice of our position. We could not understand even that the world, seeing injustice, could just stand by. And when we cried out in pain over the suffering of the children, their distended stomachs, kwashiorkor and all those things, we cried out. We felt actually the world owed us understanding. That was the one thing the world never gave us. Our people suffered greatly. They were deprived. They were bombarded. And they were rendered totally destitute in the period. You might also ask me immediately, then why continue the war? Because we, the Biafrans, saw ourselves throughout the entire period under the threat of genocide. And even when we couldn't fight anymore and move forward into surrender, we surrendered practically in the belief that this was the end.
Thank you very much. You know, I stopped at the Civil War. There's a reason for it, because, you know, the history of Nigeria, I like to stop at the Civil War because I have my own viewpoint I want to say on that, the issue of the Civil War. When you look at it holistically, you will see the war, the Civil War that happened in 1967 in Nigeria was a blessing in disguise. Yes, it was a blessing in disguise. And Ojukwu himself, he meant well. Ojukwu meant well. But it's because of this, you know, the political gain, the political system, the political nonsense they are practicing in Nigeria. You know, let's assume that Ojukwu has succeeded, the Biafrans have succeeded. I know and I believe Yoruba and Hausa, they will never be together. They would have separated. Let us assume in that after Civil War, everybody has disintegrated. We have 3 nations. The country would have developed by now. I'm telling you, Abiola may still be alive today. Many people that died may still be alive today. And the bad thing, the killings, the criminals, the criminals in our political system, nobody knows. Will not be what we are seeing today. Nigeria, I'm telling you, Nigeria is a time bomb. I'm sorry to say that if that annoys anybody, but I'm just my own viewpoint. Nigeria is a time bomb, and we are just, you know, we are just forces. You know, we are just different forces forcing ourselves together. We are opposite forces forcing ourselves together. I'm not saying Nigeria should divide, but God bless us.